Hi, this is Ella, a life coach, and today I'm going to talk about positive thinking and why it is important to have this skill in our life and what can we do to get to that stage to think more positively rather than negative. The point is that many of us, no matter what age, what stage of life, or what status that we have, in business, in society, we might be more cynical. We might pay more attention to the negative points, let's say, the empty half of the glass, more than the full part, because we think that okay, we need to be rational, we need to be realistic, we need to deal with specific facts rather than pay attention to what is actually happening and why we should have it. But I believe no matter where you are, what are you doing, what's your state of life, you need to think positive, because in this world we're dealing with lots of negative points, negative news, negative things. And if we also are going to think negatively, then imagine how our life will be. I'm having some notes here, so if I'm checking my notes down there, it means that I want to describe everything that I have written down. And let's just start. I believe, depending on the sources on psychology and also sources of success, positive thinking comes from our belief. It comes from our feeling. It comes from the point that whether we really see ourselves valuable to think positive. So this is the main point. And why thinking positively is important? Because you feel more confident, you feel more motivated, you feel less obstacles in your way. Of course, when you're starting a new project, doing something new, you might deal with lots of tensions, stress, everything that might come across your way. But it's very important how you deal with it. For example, for my new project some time ago, I had a lot of problem with meta tasks and how to affirm it, how to verify my account and showing that my advertisement is not violating the, um, let's say, the rules of Meta. And sometimes I was completely disappointed about the point. I was like, okay, it's enough. I don't want to continue doing it. But the other hand, I was reminding myself that this is not going to be permanent, this is temporary, you can rest for some days and then you can get back to it. So this is like you're mostly hopeful about things that happens around you, and even if it's negative, you usually find something there. So this is the belief, this is the thought, this is how it defines us and our actions. So we have four stages, no matter whether we're thinking positive or negative, but there are four stages that we usually need in our life, whether we're talking about taking actions, doing projects, continuing our routine of life, whatever. The first is the thoughts. So it's like the thinking or the words that you use to think about something. You can just pause this video and think about your thoughts and see that whether you're using usually positive ones, you are hopeful about some new projects or something, or usually you just try to see something which is not working, something that is not happening in the way you like. This is number one. Number two talks about our beliefs. So our beliefs are conscious and unconscious at the same time. We have some elements and points from our parents or from our ancestor. It's like a heritage, and we have some beliefs that we can create it, we can change it, we can put it in the way we want. For example, I come from a very conservative family, so having conservative thoughts is on my unconscious. But on the other hand, I tried to take more risks, to be more open, to express more about my feelings, what I want with people around me. So this means that the part of unconsciousness, conservativity, is still there, but very consciously I started to change it, so I am not completely insecure and I'm not completely changing what I came from, but I tried to add to it to bring some more productivity for my life and less hurting. Next point is our feelings. The feelings that we have when we're taking actions, the feelings that we have that when we're starting a new project, we came across it. So if you're all the time, like the course that I talked about, self-trust to from self-doubt to self-trust, there I talked about imposter syndrome. So if you're a person who always thinks that I am not enough, that things are not going in the way that I believe, I cannot control everything, things are not under control, and all other points, this does mean that you're more negative than positive, or you're not trusting yourself the way that you should trust. So that's the hint I am giving you, that go around, analyze your things, beliefs, thoughts, and see that whether is it really true? Is it exactly what you are? Or there is something in between that it needs to be changed. So after these 3 steps, then we have the action. So we have our thinkings, we have our beliefs, we have our feelings about something that we're doing, and at the end is the actions. All these 3 are intermingled, they are causally related, and if something doesn't work, it means the other one will also not work, or it will have more problems to take. So these 4 things actually affects all our life actions, points. Even when we want to be in a relationship, it also affects. Sometimes you have unconscious belief about partnership, about friendship, how to deal with people, and this all affects the way we need to be. So after this, I want to tell you that how you can bring more positive thinking. First and foremost, the enemies of positive thinking. Negative self-talks. This is number 1. That you start thinking that you're stupid, that you're not enough, you're not beautiful, you don't take actions, things are not going well, all these points. Second, fixed mindset. So it's like a room that you put something on it and then you close the door for many years and you never open the door even to refresh the air, let alone the tools and facilities that you have there. Our mind is the same. If you close the door and never try to change it, never let it get the air, never try to update all those things, what will happen? You will have a fixed mindset, you will get obsolete, I can say, and then things around you will feel more insecure to compare with the previous points. You are afraid of failure. So you see failure as something which is very bad, which if you face a mistake, it means that you will be ruined, and so you don't take the action, you don't start doing anything because you're afraid, and all those feelings that will avoid you from taking even that first step. Take the action. And that is still is your enemy. So if you feel that, okay, if I am taking actions, if I'm not taking actions, it means that I'm not afraid, I'm just trying to be conservative, still that's the bell that, okay, you needed to think more about that point. You needed to take care more. You need to find out more what is actually plays like an obstacle in my way towards success. And the last point is about comparison. This is the worst side because we usually compare ourselves with other people. Thanks to social medias, we usually compare ourselves with the picture of others, the good image, the good views that we get, that we all know that behind the scene thousands of things can happen and we would never understand how it happened or why it happens. So this is a problem. We usually compare not to ourselves, not to our past, not to what was happening, but we compare with others' good images. You don't know where are their stories, you don't know how it happens, you don't know that, okay, whether it is true or not, you just go through it, you just take that action, and that brings the problem. So this is the point, this is the thing that I am asking you, stop doing it. Instead of comparing yourself with others, with the good images, without knowing what's the story behind, just start comparing yourself with yourself. For example, if I compare Ella in 2020 and Ella at 2025, it's 5 years, it's now around somewhere last weeks of November 2025 that I am talking about this topic. So 5 years ago, I was a teacher at an institute. I liked my job, but it wasn't fulfilling my dreams. It wasn't based on what I liked. Beside my job, I was having two jobs at that time. I was a teacher and a photographer. I really liked my photography uh, profession, let's say. I was really amazed. Still, I wasn't getting that much fulfillment feeling that I need to feel, and I knew that something was wrong. And then pandemic started, and I got around 6 months of quarantine to stay at home and only think about what went wrong all this life and what I can do, what I can bring to change my point of view, to bring a better Ella. At first, it was very hard. Of course, like every other people, I didn't have job. I was low on money. I needed to just put aside everything, go back to my teenage years. Nothing was available, nothing was stable. But after that 6 years, I started to change. It didn't happen throughout one night, it just happened step by step. But now that I'm talking to you, I really fulfill, I feel that I am fulfilling my feelings. Uh, Still, I am sometimes hesitating. Still, I sometimes I get trapped into my perfectionist mood, but I am moving faster than before. I feel that I am growing every day, and that's exactly how I should see and compare myself. I'm not comparing myself to other coaches on Instagram who have lots of followers, or I don't know, they are having, in my opinion, based on their page, they're having a very successful life. I have a successful life myself. Comparing to them, it's a little different, but it doesn't mean that I lack something and they're better than me. It means that every one of us, we have specific rules, we have a specific life, and I just need to stick to my story and create my own narration. That's what I want you to believe on that. So instead of comparing yourself with others, just try to make an agenda, make the plan for your own life, and then take the action. The last point is very important, taking the action. With all the people that I am talking to, the coaches, the coaching sessions that we have, or coaching clubs, this is the point. Many of us, we have all the knowledge, but when it comes to the point that we want to take the action, then we don't take the action. Or we hesitate, we think that we are not ready, we think that things are not as good as it should be, and that's the point that I want you to take care of and start changing. So how to start changing our mindset, how to bring a better self, let's say a better positive person into our life. First and foremost, change your mindset. You need to take the growth mindset instead of fixed mindset. Instead of thinking that everything is going wrong and I'm not going to be successful or things are hard, just try to find out what lessons I'm going to learn, what opportunities I can find, all these points. You know, that self-talk that I said can bring negative feelings for you. Still, it can help you to get your positive feelings. So the good self-talks that you have with yourself, the more attention that you pay to your emotions, feelings, your beliefs, you need to be honest with yourself. You need to sit down and analyze exactly what's happening in your brain, and then start changing, not immediately, step by step, those parts, so you feel more confident, you feel more positive about that. I'm talking very generally here. If you needed more specific, if you wanted to get more options, if you wanted to get specific guidance, personal guidance according to who you are, what you want, and your goals, you can just send me a text on Instagram, on my website. We can have a free Zoom call first to find out what exactly is happening for you, and then if you wanted, we can continue our sessions. We can bring a better perspective of you at the end of it. But for now, we're talking about positive feelings and positive life, positive point of view. So first and foremost, start analyzing, finding what's the problem, what's thinking. Next time that something negative is happening into your life, just stop, and instead of saying why it's happening for me and what if I didn't start this project, go with what I can do or what I will learn from that. That gives you even more warm feeling that I see you, I understand you, I know the situation is hard. You can cry, you can shout, you can jump, you can, I don't know, whatever you want to do, you can do it. It's your feelings. We said that we should see our feelings first, but then start at the point that how you can do it. Journaling, in my opinion, writing in general really helps you to get to that confidence that, okay, this is my feelings, these are the points, this is how it's happening, and this is what I think. Because I believe when you let your brain to start bringing ideas for you, you can start finding better ways for dealing with that. So positive self-talk, open your eyes, or let's say open our eyes wide and see other opportunities rather than doing. Writing is another point. Then I can say that you need to start some mindset activities. Like, okay, if you like yoga, do yoga. If you like meditation, do meditation. If you like playing music, still that helps you to get your focus out of what you're doing every day as a routine and start bringing something different. Besides that, going to nature is also very important, because according to spirituality, we come from Mother Earth, and then when we connect it to our source, it obviously recharges our batteries and it helps us to feel better. Don't forget the power of nature. Going to the park near to your house still has the same effect. Of course, it's not as the same as going to the forest, but still you will get that positive effect that you're looking for. So don't forget the power of nature. And this is important. Your environment and your surroundings are hugely affecting who you are, what are you thinking, and what's your perspective. So you need, in order to think positively, you need to have positive people around you. If you cannot find positive people, at least control your connections with people who are taking your energy, who are thinking more negatively rather than positively, and try to just very wisely and very consciously communicate with them. Don't let them affect your brain. I myself, I have lots of these environments around, these surroundings, but I usually, when they start talking about some negative points about the news or what's happening, I just switch off my ears, let's say, and I consciously put boundaries, like put a wall toward all those words, all those things, because I know that it's not, it can be true, I'm not rejecting the idea, but I don't want that words to affect my life, because when it affects my life, it affects my motivation, it affects my productivity. And while I cannot do anything about those things, if I be motivated and productive, still I am creating my own part in this world, and that's more important. So your environment is important, your social media, the page that you're following, and the people that you are communicating on social media all affects your perspective. So be careful about the details that you get from your social medias, from your scrolling, all these points, everything, every single detail. It might sound simple, but at the end, it really affects how you see the world, or it affects your perspective of the world. And I'm here to show you that, okay, you need to change. There are lots of things that I can talk about, but I don't want to make the video longer than this. So let's stop here. If you needed more guidance, just comment on the comments or send me a text, and then we can continue more talking about how to feel more positive, and wait for the other videos. Thanks for being here. Have a very great time.